Hi, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association. And this week, the story behind the song for the Tennessean and the Tennessean.com is I Swear with Mr. Frank Myers. Frank, I'm going to make a lot of songwriters mad here. It's the perfect song.
Oh, thank
And
you.
few are. It's the perfect song. More about that in a minute. So perfect that pretty much since we've met, that's hung over my desk at NSAI.
And I'm honored to have that hanging over your desk.
Well, it inspires me. I'll get to feeling blue a little bit, and I don't sing, and I'm not going to now, but I'll look at it and go, mm-hmm. And it makes me feel good. And I think the song, and I love the fact you wrote it on a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of songs start. Did you write that one on a napkin when you started?
No.
I still love the idea. And so I'll tell you why it's perfect. One more degree of complication, overthinking it, getting in your own way, you would have ruined it.
Right.
It's beautiful because it's just so there. I don't want to call it simple because it's not, but it's
Simply understood.
simply understood. I love that. I'm going to quote you on that. That's now Bart's line. But we're going to do this in two parts because there's two really cool stories behind the song, the way the song was written, and then a demo and the way it got recorded. We'll get to that in part two.
Okay.
But you came to town and you were Eddie Raven's band leader.
Yes.
And through that, you met a character, and we love you, character, named Gary Baker.
He's a character, all right.
And y'all have been together for years. You've had your
We
own
call him the
record
mayor.
deal. The mayor. So, but something clicked. So tell us about I Swear.
Well, Gary and I had met when he was in the band called The Shooters, and I was playing with Eddie Raven. I was his guitar player and band leader. And Mike Hollinsworth, our buddy, hooked us up. He was working for Rick Hall Music, and so was Gary.
Rick, great publisher, Muscle Shoals, whole
Yes.
family.
Yes.
It's in the water down there.
Incredible music down there. So we just started writing together, and one day I live about 3 hours from Gary, and one morning he called me when I was getting ready to go down to write, and he says, "I got an idea for you to think about on the drive down," and the title is called "I Swear." You know,
And don't you write a lot of great stuff while you're driving, or doesn't it
You know,
incubate?
I love that
Yeah.
because I love to drive. I get my mind relaxes for some reason when I'm
you got
driving.
your
Even in traffic,
Yeah.
it's the craziest thing. And
But hopefully you got a recorder in the car.
well, I have it in my phone now. But I did have a little
Yeah,
recorder
yeah,
that I kept in the car. And he says, the title's I Swear, and it's like, I'll love you forever, I swear. I just think it's a good title. I said, well, let me think about it on the drive down. So I did, and I actually wrote the chorus, music and words, driving down to his house. Because I got to thinking, I swear what, I swear on my life, by the moon and the stars, by this and that. I just kept thinking of all these things, and I just put the lyric together, and the music came with it. And I put it on that little recorder.
Really?
Yeah, when I write, especially if I start a song, the music and lyric all comes at the same time.
Because that's not the same way for everybody. They can start with the
Yeah.
melody and the...
Well, it's not like that all the time, but most of the time, because the rhythm of the lyric, the cadence of the lyric, and everything just kind of, I start hearing melodies. It's not that I always keep that initial melody, but I always hear a melody.
But anyway, you're somewhere around Ardmore.
Yeah, but so I write it, and I put it down on this little recorder, and we were writing with Robert Byrne that day, God rest his soul, and we went to Robert's house, and we wrote a song, and Robert made us some barbecue chicken, and we ate, and it was about, I guess, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were driving back to Fame, because I left my car there, and I said I wrote a chorus to that title you gave me this morning.
And Robert's not there now.
Robert's not
Okay,
there.
right.
He didn't want to work anymore.
Okay.
So I told Gary.
Robert, God bless him.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah, he missed out on one that
Yeah,
day.
he did.
But so we got back to Fame, and we went up in Walt Aldridge's office. He had an office upstairs, and we sat in Walt's office and wrote the verses, and that's it. And then Gary ended up doing a demo on
So
it.
before we get to the demo,
Okay.
was it complete? You never went back and changed anything?
Never changed
So you're
anything.
doing this thing in a couple hours.
Yeah.
When do you get together?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Maybe that had something to do with it. You didn't overthink it. You didn't get in your way. You let it just spill out.
Well, you know, the thing about overthinking it, when I wrote for Tom Collins for a while, he always told me, he said, when you start a lyric, put like Dear John in front of it. Dear John, I blank, blank, blank. Like you're writing a letter. And, you know, I use that a lot. I mean, there's a lot of my lyrics are just simple, as far as you would think they're simple, but they're simply understood, as I said.
So y'all do this demo. It's got a little Scholziness to it, whatever. You pitch it for 5 years and nothing happens. You meet Marie Osmond somehow through your travels with Eddie.
I was playing guitar for
You
Marie.
You get in the band. That's another whole story we'll do off the camera. I love Marie Osmond. But you're with her piano player?
Well, what happened is I'm playing guitar for her. I got Gary in the band as well. Now he's playing bass and I'm playing electric. And we were just playing songs. And, you know, the keyboard player also is a writer and a programmer. So he had done a couple things that we wrote some songs with him, and he programmed the tracks, and he did such a great job. He wanted to take a shot at just programming a new track to I Swear. So he programmed the track with the piano lick that's in the record, gave us the track, and then Gary and I went to his house, and I put all the guitars on it. Gary sang it, and I sang the backgrounds. That was it. And then, still, everybody in town passed on it. But it was more of a pop-sounding demo. And then I personally pitched it to John Michael
John Michael Montgomery.
3 times.
And at first he was like, I think he said he had some better songs for,
Well,
for what he was trying to do on that record.
Well, no, he said, I like this song a lot. It's a little pop. You know, I'm not sure it's better than what we have.
Right.
And that was his comment. And that was on a houseboat up in Kentucky with him and his mom and dad and Eddie and Troy before they even became Montgomery Gentry.
But he changed his mind. He did it. What happens next is nothing short of incredible. It won every award. Was it our Song of the Year? I think it was. But it
Yes.
won all these awards. It was NSAI Song of the Year. And then, this never happens this many times ever. All for One, they're on fire. And they cut it.
You want the story behind that?
Yeah.
The story behind that is that can't think of the guy's name that ran Atlantic at the time up there. Doug Morris.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah.
Asked Rick Blackburn, who was running Atlantic Records at the time here, if he would try to cross over, I Swear, with John Michael. And Rick said, no, I don't want to make country radio mad. And he says, well, okay, then we just signed a deal with David Foster to do some production things. He did a label with us, and we have this new group called All for One. They got their first single out. It was a hip-hop kind of thing that they had out, So Much in Love, which was an older song. And do you mind if David cuts a track on this for these guys? And they said, no, go ahead. And the craziest thing, we didn't know anything about that. So one day, Gary and I are riding up here in Nashville. I get a call from Al Cooley. And he says, hey man, is Gary with you by any chance? I said, yeah, we're actually writing today up here because Gary lives down there and he happened to be here. He says, well, come. Where we were was at the old Horry Pro building. It was across the street from the old Atlantic building on Broadway right there. Come across the street, I'm going to play you something. So Gary and I walks over to Atlantic Records and walk into Al's office and sit down. The next thing I know, here comes Rick Blackburn in. He says, play it. They played it, and it started out, and I thought it was a joke. I actually thought it was a joke at first. Until it got into it, it's like, wow, this is cool.
Different, but they murdered it too.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
And the
harmonies,
harmonies,
it was
man.
incredible.
Yeah. And I think that's the power of a great song.
We had
Different
no idea.
arrangements, different genres, but man.
Oh, David Foster, I mean, my gosh. He's so incredible. He's just incredible. And Rick goes, Yes, it is going to be a pop single. Yes, David Foster produced it. Yes, it's going to be a #1 record. Yes, it's going to win a Grammy.
Prophetic,
Very prophetic.
because all that happened.
Yeah.
What a story behind what a song, a perfect song. This week for the Tennessean.com, Frank Myers, and I Swear.
I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky,